Jillian here at Connections Early Years Family Center. I am a early on staff member here. Today we are going to talk about sports. As everyone knows, sports are a really important way to get your children outdoors and being active, even indoors depending on the sport and the time of year. But sports have been shown to have really important physical as well as mental effects on your child. So they're great for staving off childhood obesity, keeping heart health at a premium, all of these wonderful things. But they also reduce anxiety, provide healthy outlets for anger or other turbulent emotions, and really are a great way for your child to make friends and have good social interactions with their peers. So sports are an amazing way to get outside and doing these things. So today we're going to be walking you through a couple of different sports that you and your children can do outdoors, especially as our current sports season, we're cut a little bit short this year. So we are going to get started with soccer. This video is for children age 0 through 6, so I'm not suggesting you put your infant on a soccer team and roll them out to go play. But it's never too early to start playing in the yard with your children. Just learning some of those basic skills that are great, both for just sports and for overall general physical development. So one of these is just learning to kind of dribble the ball with your feet. You're just going to work on your balance and working on your coordination to see if you can even just stay with the ball as you go and keep it close to you. It sounds very simple, but for a child who is still, only maybe a year or two off from learning to walk, it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be a really fun challenge for them too. Another one that you can do is you can just do small little passes back and forth with your child. I have no one here to pass to, so I'll use the wall. Gentle passes that are coming from back and forth. And again, you're just working on your coordination and also on your leg muscles when you're doing those kicks. This sport is my personal favorite to play with my little cousin because it's so fun, and he really loves the feeling of getting a good shot on me and scoring on me, and it's just super fun because at any age the things that you can do with them for soccer will change, and as early as age 4 if they do have interest in joining a team, soccer is very popular in Canada, and I guarantee you'll be able to find one. Another great one that you can do with your children is basketball. The Raptors winning last year, basketball is now more popular than ever for some Canadians, so it's a fun time to get your child involved in this sport. So for this one, great way you can just start is just dribbling. This ball is a little old, so I promise it's easier than it looks if you have a slightly newer basketball, but just bouncing it up and down is a great way for your child to work on those arm muscles, and also just a really simple way for them to start on a game that will get more and more fun the older they get. Another one that you can do, and again I have no partner here to pass with me, is you could just do simple passes back and forth with them. One person will bounce to the other, you catch it. You can either do throwing or one bounces, either of those are fine, and just doing simple little bounces around your yard, maybe pass them to your child, pass them back if you have multiple children and they have siblings. This is even better, they can play with one another, and again this is a great way for them just to get started on those early skills. If you are lucky enough to have a child-sized basketball net, shooting, while super difficult, is also a lot of fun. So another sport that you can always work your way up to, and again we're not dressing your children in full football gear and sending them out on the field to tackle each other. That's not at all what we're suggesting, but it is a fun one just to go in the yard and toss around a football with your child. Footballs are a different shape, they have these material ridges, so it's a different tactile experience for your child to throw a ball like this as opposed to a baseball or a tennis ball, because it's just a different shape, it's a little more awkward and requires a little more coordination, so it's a nice gradual step for their development. Again, you can just pass this one back and forth. I don't have anyone to play with me, so I can't show you on this video, but it is a really fun one to get your child outdoors, especially if they like maybe sitting down and watching the football game with you in the evening. Another fun sport that you can can do is lawn bowling. And this is probably not what you were thinking of when I said we're talking about sports today. The thing about lawn bowling is it is super silly, so your child is going to have a lot of fun. So you can just get these little plastic sets. Maybe you have a wooden set, which would be even better if you can avoid all that plastic. You're just going to take your little bowling ball. I'm just going to try and roll it. I didn't do too bad. And again, it's always great physical activity to run over there and set them back up. Maybe they're going to get a strike, maybe they're going to get spared, maybe there's something called a turkey I think I've heard of. Whatever it is, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I guarantee you your child is going to love this one. So our second last sport that we're going to talk about today is skipping. And again, maybe this wasn't what you were thinking of when I said we're talking about sports today, but skipping is actually one of the best exercises you can do for your heart. It's also a great one that you can do with your child because it does take multiple people to turn the rope, and it's always fun to be doing maybe double skipping if at all possible. I only have myself in this video, so again I can't show you double skipping, but even just doing a little bit of skipping with your child, maybe having a friendly competition about who can jump longer, or maybe who can get hit around twice, and I certainly cannot. All those little fun competitions you can do with your child just to get them jumping and having fun is a really great way to work on their coordination and their sense of timing and spatial perception, but also a really great way to get their heart pumping. For our last sport of the day, we're going to be talking about tennis. And again, I don't have a buddy with me today, so I can't show you some of the things that maybe you're going to do in a pair. But tennis is one of my favorite ways to actually go and spend some time with my parents and my siblings, and it's also a really great way for everyone and you and your family to stay active. So for your tennis ball, you practice throwing it off the wall, catching it. Maybe you want to bounce it off the wall, maybe you want to go overhand instead of underhand. It looks simple, but I promise for a younger child it's going to be a little more difficult. It's going to take a lot of practice. But it's a great way for them to work on their hand-eye coordination, and if they're not catching it yet and they're running around chasing after it, that is even more fun. So it's a great way for them to be active and healthy and really work on those physical developments that you want in your child during their early years. So that is it for our video today on playing sports with your child. Again, I cannot say how important sports are, especially just introduced to your child at a young age. Sports are critical for boosting their confidence. If you don't start too early, it might be a little more difficult for them to join in, so you always want to get out in the yard and play these activities with your child. It's also just a really great way to get out and be active. So I do hope you check it out. There will be some links posted below the videos on things such as different sports you can try, the perfect age to try and put your child into a sports league, because all children are different and have different benchmarks that you want to look for before joining a sports team. So thank you again for watching, and thank you for connecting with us. We'll see you soon.